Alright, what's going on, everybody? We are live for LSU, Alabama. I'm a lot later than I wanted to be, but we are here. So LSU, Alabama, no score, 11-10 to go in the opening quarter. Daniels throws quickly to the back out of the backfield, and he's going to pick up about 6 yards on the play. Sorry about the barking dogs, you can hear that in the background. Hold on 1 second. Let me pull up the comments. But 2nd and 4 here for LSU at their own 48. I'll get to the comments, my score prediction in a second. Put a poll out as well. So 2nd and 4, ball on the left hash. Daniels hands off up the middle for a gain of about 5 or 6. Good run there on first down. Alright, who will win? Make sure to vote on that poll, LSU or Alabama. I really don't want either team to win, but I would go LSU just to officially eliminate Alabama from playoff contention. But here's a 1st and 10 for LSU. Daniels takes a low snap off play action. He's got plenty of time. Going to launch one deep down the field. Wide open receivers, Malik Neighbors, and that's an LSU touchdown. Malik Neighbors, one of the best receivers in the country. A long touchdown there, and LSU on the board first. Malik Neighbors wide open behind the secondary, and LSU is on the board. 5 plays, 82 yards, 2:42 off the clock in what I think we are going to see a lot of LSU scoring. I think this game is going to turn into a shootout, and I think LSU's got the advantage there, the clearly better offense. And I've got them 45-34. And here is the extra point. It is up and good, and LSU strikes first and takes the early 7-0 lead with 9:46 to go in the opening quarter. Alright, let me actually pull up the rosters for each team so we know who we're talking about. So far, results on the poll, it is 50-50. Make sure to vote if you guys have not already done so. My vote goes towards LSU. Alright, give me 1 second. To do something really quick. But let me know your score prediction in the comments. I've got LSU pulling away later in the game and winning 45-34, but I think this will be a pretty close game. And I have them 45-34. Hold on 1 second. But welcome to the stream, everybody. LSU is this one is 7-0. Give me 1 second. There are so many people on YouTube illegally streaming the game. And showing the actual game. Alright, but LSU sends it away here. And this kick will be returned from the 1-yard line. On the return, it gets across the 20-yard line up to the 24. And that is where Jalen Milroe and the Alabama offense will take over at their own, for their second drive. Give me 1 minute. Alright. But here's a 1st and 10 from the 24. Milroe in shotgun. Play clock winding down. They do get the snap off. Milroe off play action on a design rollout right. He's going to dump this off to 19 in the fly. He's going to break a tackle. Still going. Cuts back inside. Tripped up at the 40. Gain of 16. Let's see, number 19 for Alabama. Let's check who that is. That is a wide receiver, Kendrick Law. He's got 5 catches, 54 yards on the season. So here is a 1st and 10 from the 40 for Alabama. Milroe is going to hand off up the middle for a gain of about 3 or 4 on the play. That is number 26. Again, I don't know who that is. That is Jam Miller, sophomore from Texas. So 2nd and 6 from the 44 after a 4-yard run. They have a 3 receiver set out wide. They motion that way. Milroe fakes the screen. A pump fakes and he's going to pull it down and look to run. He's still looking downfield. Milroe pump fakes and is now going to cross midfield. He's still inbound and he's eventually going to head out of bounds at the LSU 45. So 2 plays, actually 3, and LSU inside Alabama territory. Milroe has plenty of time to throw on 1st down. He's going to throw down the field that is complete to a wide open receiver. And he's taken down at the 23-yard line. Very nice drive so far for Alabama. Kobe Prentice with the catch there. So 1st and 10 already on the the LSU 23-yard line. Milroe gonna hand off. No, he's gonna keep this one on the option. Milroe gets the edge. Milroe in for an Alabama touchdown, and they respond to the LSU touchdown extremely quickly. Jalen Milroe with the touchdown run on the designed run for him, and Alabama answers with a very quick touchdown drive of their own. Hold on 1 second. And the extra point from Will Reichert is up and good. It's now 7-7 as Alabama ties it up after an extremely quick touchdown drive. Let me see how fast that was. By the way, I'm also going to be closely monitoring Washington USC. That game currently 7-0 USC. 4:05 to go in the first quarter. So I'm going to be keeping an extremely close eye on that one. That was a 5-play, 76-yard touchdown for Alabama that took 2:28 off the clock. LSU's drive was 5 plays, 85 yards, 2:42 off the clock. And Alabama's first drive, 6 plays, 10 yards, 2:32 off the clock, resulting in a punt. Alright, hold on 1 second. Let me do this really quick. Give me a quick second. I'm not going to talk much. Give me 1 second. Make sure to vote in the poll if you guys have not already done so. So far, it is 50-50. My vote would go towards LSU, but I cannot vote as the creator of the poll. I've got LSU 45-34. Just give me 1 second. Now I'll get back to that. Alright, Alabama's got it teed up and is set to send it away here. LSU going to get the football back after the... LSU going to get the ball back after allowing a quick Alabama touchdown. And defense for LSU has been a problem so far, but their offense has not struggled to score. The highest scoring offense in the country, scoring 75 points a game. But their defense, one of the worst in the SEC. Jalen Milroe has been a lot better for Alabama as of late. And especially when throwing the ball 20-plus yards through the air. He's got 10 touchdowns, 1 interception when the ball is 20-plus air yards. And Jaden Daniels' numbers are the only quarterback who's better when throwing 20 yards down the field. At least 20 yards down the field. So, here's the 1st and 10 at the 25. After the touchback, game tied at 7-14 to go in the first quarter. Daniels looks to throw. He's going to throw it to the outside. That is knocked away and incomplete. Looking for Lacey. And that brings up a 2nd down. Good coverage there. So here is a 2nd and 10. Empty backfield for Daniels. Another low snap. It's a designed quarterback run. Jaden Daniels picks up the 1st down. He's still going. Daniels still on his feet. He's just short of midfield when he's taken down at the 49. One of the most dangerous runners in the country, and he shows it off there. That was a designed quarterback run. They pulled the left tackle. And a big gain there for LSU on the ground. Daniels 2 carries at 31 yards. He may be the best mobile quarterback in the country at physically running beyond the line of scrimmage. So 1st and 10 here from just shy of midfield. Here they hand off up the middle to Logan Diggs. And Diggs going to gain 3, getting to the Alabama 48. So here is a 2nd and 7 for LSU following a 3-yard run, and this play is blown dead. We've got a false start prior to the snap. Give me 1 minute. Alright, so 2nd and 12 after the penalty. Backs them up to their own 47. 5.5 minutes to go in the opening quarter, game tied at 7. And now we got a timeout called for by LSU with the play clock winding down to 0. Not wanting to take another penalty. So 5:31 to go in the opening quarter, and LSU has already spent 2 timeouts wanting to avoid another penalty. So far, results in the poll, it is 50-50. Make sure to vote if you guys have not already done so. My vote would go towards LSU if I could vote. I've got them by a score of 45-34. And let's also get a quick check on the Oregon. Alright, we got a Washington touchdown now. It is a rushing touchdown on the ground by Dylan Johnson. As the teams have traded touchdowns so far in what is likely going to be a game filled with a lot of touchdowns. LSU scored on a 2-yard touchdown run. USC scored on a 2-yard touchdown run. So waiting for them to come back from commercial, LSU has already spent 2 timeouts here in the first quarter, with about 5 minutes to go in the opening quarter. So still waiting for them to come back from commercial. Give me 1 second. Alright, 2nd and 12 here for LSU. Following the penalty and timeout. Daniels empty backfield. It's another low snap. It's been a common theme so far. It's got plenty of time. Daniels going to launch one deep down the field. That is double coverage and incomplete. Malik Neighbors, the target. Incomplete. We got an injured Alabama player down on the field. That is going to be on number 6, Jalen Key. Hopefully he's okay. Doesn't seem to be anything unusual there. But hopefully he's okay. And after the incompletion, that'll bring up a 3rd and 10. Sorry, 3rd and 12 here for Alabama. See if there's any other interesting games going on besides Washington USC. I was debating streaming that game over this game, but I decided LSU Alabama was probably a little bit better, even though Washington USC might be game of the year. But other scores, we got Oregon up on Cal 42-19, Kansas up on Iowa State 14-0, Michigan leading Purdue 17-0 at the end of the first quarter. And that is it for the games going on now in the top 25. Tulane only beat East Carolina 13-10. Louisville destroyed Virginia Tech 34-3. Penn State destroys Maryland 51-15. Oklahoma State upset Oklahoma, giving them their second straight loss, 27-24. Florida State beat Pitt 24-7. Georgia beat Missouri 30-21. Army upsets Air Force 23-3. And that's not it. Utah destroyed Arizona State 55-3. Tennessee destroys UConn 59-3. Ole Miss narrowly beats Texas A&M 38-35. Texas avoids an upset against Kansas State 33-30 in overtime. And Ohio State beats Rutgers 35-16. But that was a game that was close so far, and I just missed this play because I was saying that stuff. I didn't realize that. But they got very close to the first down marker. Here's a replay of it. Just throw to the tight end who's in the flat, and he's going to be about a half a yard short, a yard or so short. It's a full yard. They're going to keep the offense out there to go for it, like the decision for LSU. So 4th and 1, a little under 5 minutes to go in the opening quarter. They convert on 55% of their 4th downs. That's 4th best in the SEC. Daniels in shotgun, back one to his right. Low snap, design roll right, and that is knocked away, incomplete. Malachi Moore knocks that one away, and Alabama forces the turnover on downs. I still like the decision to go for it for LSU, because you're not going to attempt a really long field goal from the 41. And I hate the idea of punting in this situation inside your opponent's territory on a 4th and extremely short. Just a nice defensive play there by Moore and Alabama with great starting field position at the 41. Had a really good 76-yard touchdown drive on their most recent drive. Milroe, on a little option play, is going to dump this off to Isaiah Bond in the flat, who's going to pick up about 7 or 8 yards. And that is going to bring up a 2nd and 3. Jalen Milroe has been a lot better since the first couple games of the season. He's really settled in as the Alabama starting quarterback. There are still some games where he's not great, but he's definitely more good than bad. He's not one of the greatest quarterbacks in the country, but he's good enough for Alabama, who I still think isn't an amazing team. They're very good, not elite, though. So here's a 2nd and 3 from their own 49, following a 7-yard catch and run. Milroe, off play action, looks to throw. Milroe's got time. He's going to launch one deep down the field, open receiver, and incomplete. Niblack was the intended target. He had multiple steps on the defender, just overthrown by Jalen Milroe. Milroe throws an excellent deep ball. The underneath, the short to intermediate stuff isn't always amazing from Jalen Milroe, but he is on target when throwing the deep ball, just not there. So here is a 3rd and 3. Alabama 1 of 2 on 3rd down so far today. Milroe going to toss this to Jace McClellan, running left. McClellan picks up a 1st down, and he's taken down at the 45. And gaining about 5 or 6 yards there on 3rd and 3. And Alabama moves the chains. Looked like they may have had a free play as well. LSU didn't seem set for that play, because they may have had too many guys on the field trying to substitute. There was no flag thrown. Brian Kelly's upset about something. He's talking to the official. Are you watching the game? So ball on the 45-yard line. Milroe hands off to McClellan once again. He looks for a lane, and he's going to get taken down after a gain of 2. Not much space to run on that play. So here is a 2nd and 8 for Alabama. Ball on the LSU 43, each team with 45 rushing yards. Milroe looks to throw. Underneath, that is caught by Bond. He's going to make one guy miss and gain 9 on the play for another Alabama 1st down. The thing LSU can't do is fall behind by a considerable amount, because then it's going to be hard to come back against good Alabama defense, even with how good the LSU offense is. So they got to avoid falling behind. Like, if they go down 14-7 or 10-7, that's not a big deal. But you can't be going down by multiple possessions. So here is a 1st and 10 at the 34. Milroe in shotgun. Off play action. Milroe looks to throw. He's got time. Milroe throws deep down the field. That is caught by Bond. Another catch for him so far. Down to the 13-yard line. Nice route there from Isaiah Bond. Finds himself wide open. And an explosive play through the air for Alabama. Gain of 21 from the 34 to the 13. Milroe, 86 passing yards. Here he is going to keep this on the option. Milroe, this time not much space to run. Milroe is still looking for space. He's getting forced to bounce at the 6. Very similar play to how he scored the touchdown earlier, except the touchdown was to the wide side of the field. This one to the short side, and Milroe eventually just ran out of space and had to look for a cutback lane. So here is a 2nd and 5. Milroe under center, a very tight formation for Alabama. Nobody split out wide as a receiver. Milroe hands off to Miller up the middle, who is going to power his way ahead for 4. And that will bring up a 3rd and short, with under a minute to go in the opening quarter. Eight-play, 54-yard drive for Alabama. 4 runs, 4 passes. 3rd and 1. They go quarterback sneak, and Milroe is going to end up into the end zone for an Alabama touchdown. A 4-yard touchdown run for Jalen Milroe. They went to go wind up to go and run the tush push, but then Milroe ends up just bouncing to the outside. And he's in for a touchdown. He's got 5 carries, 35 yards, and 2 Alabama touchdowns so far. That caps off a 9-play, 58-yard drive. Took 4:18 off the clock. And this extra point is up and good. It is now 14-7. Alabama leads LSU. 14 unanswered points after the LSU touchdown in their first drive. And LSU also with a good drive on their second drive before they turned it over on downs. But, I mean, I still like the decision to go for it, even knowing the result. So I don't want to punt that. And you're not attempting a field goal. It's going to be like 58, 59 yards. Update on USC Washington. We've got a 14-7 Trojan lead at the end of the first quarter. Caleb Williams ran it in for a touchdown on their most recent possession. And let's see if there's any other interesting scores or updated scores around college football between ranked teams. Not really. Actually, no changes at all. Except the USC Washington, which I just mentioned. But, excuse me, waiting for them to come back from commercial break after the Alabama touchdown extends their lead. This is Jalen Milroe's third game this year with multiple rushing touchdowns. He's got 2 already. Reichert sends it away, and this kick will be returned from about the 3 by LSU. On the return, not a good one. Up to, where is that? I don't know if that's the 15 or 16, or if that's the 20 or 25. Sorry, 20 or 21, because I don't know where they've got that red stripe, whether that's the 20 or the 25. I think that's 25, so we should be up to the 21, but I'm not completely sure. So LSU, with the football back, they trail for the first time today. They've got 19 seconds to go in the first quarter. Combined points tonight, 21 in the first quarter. Last year, these two teams combined for just 13 in the first half. We're definitely on pace for a shootout, which definitely favors LSU if it were to go that way, because of their offense. Daniels hands off to Logan Diggs up the middle, and Diggs is going to get pushed forward for a gain of 4 or 5 on the play. And that's going to bring us to the end of the first quarter. So at the end of the quarter, Alabama leads this one 14-7. A lot of scoring so far. I would expect that to continue, and that is one of the reasons why I picked LSU. I just think the LSU offense is too good, and the Alabama offense is good, and they're facing a bad LSU defense, but they're not going to be able to keep up with LSU's offense. It was a 5-yard pickup there on first down on the run from Logan Diggs, the transfer from Notre Dame. Logan Diggs missed the first few games, I believe, for LSU, but it's been a really, really good back for them. No, he missed just game 1, but he has been very good with 611 yards, 6 touchdowns, 5.8 yards a carry. And this is really good for an LSU team whose last year's leading rusher was their quarterback, Jaden Daniels, and they really needed just like a really good running back. I think find that in the transfer portal with Logan Diggs, and he has done a great job for LSU. 611 yards, 6 touchdowns in, 7-1, so 8 games. He's averaging 87 rushing yards per game. So, still waiting for them to come back from commercial break after the end of the opening quarter. Give me 1 second to check something real quick. While we wait for them to come back from commercial. Oh no, what did I do? Hold on. What did I just do? Hold on. Alright, here we go. Alright, but waiting for them to come back from commercial still. At the end of quarter number 1, Alabama leads LSU 14-7. So far, results in the poll, 67% of you guys said Alabama will win, 33% said LSU. Make sure to vote if you guys have not already done so. My vote goes towards LSU. I've got them 45-34. So here is a 2nd and 5 for LSU at their own 22-yard line. Daniels off play action, looks to throw. He's got time. Daniels going to roll out to his right. Escape the sack. Daniels takes off to run. Jaden Daniels across the 40-yard line. He's still on his feet. Across midfield and he's out of bounds at the Alabama 49. He's going to have a huge game for LSU tonight with his arm and his legs. And he's been having an insane season. A lot of yards on through the air and on the ground and a whole bunch of touchdowns. He's already got 122 total yards, 63 passing, 59 rushing. And if LSU was only a one-loss team, he would probably be the Heisman favorite. Daniels hands off to Diggs up the middle, and Diggs is going to fight forward for 2. Not much space there on the run up the middle on first down. But now, if LSU wins this game, Jaden Daniels will definitely go back into the Heisman conversation as one of the favorites. But it makes me wonder, can a player from a 2-loss team, or maybe even a 3-loss team, by the end of the year, who knows, I don't know what the schedule looks like ahead for LSU. Like, what if they end up losing the SEC championship game? Can someone like that win the Heisman? I don't think so. But here is a 2nd and 7. Daniels, plenty of time to throw all day. Now he's going to roll out to his right and throw down the field. That is caught for a big gain up to the 25 by Malik Neighbors, his second catch. Both of them have been big plays. This one goes for 24. His first one went for 43. Just a 3-man rush for Alabama. Daniels gets all kinds of time. And then he's eventually able to find one of the best receivers in the country, Malik Neighbors, down the field for a big gain. He's got 2 catches, 68 yards, and a touchdown. He's almost certainly going to be a first-round pick this spring in the NFL draft. So 1st and 10, Daniels in shotgun. He looks to throw. 4-man rush for Alabama. Daniels has it deflected and incomplete. Looking for Brian Thomas underneath. That was deflected at the line, then went bouncing off the hand of Thomas, who was reaching back for it. And it was nearly picked. It was deflected off the helmet of an Alabama defensive lineman. It's honestly a good thing Brian Thomas got a hand on that, because if not, that was for sure getting picked. So here's a 2nd and 10. 5 plays, 58 yards on current drive for LSU. It is taking 2:31 off the clock. So ball on the Alabama 25. Play clock winding down to 3. They get the snap off, and they hand off up the middle to Logan Diggs, who's going nowhere. Taken down at the line of scrimmage. And that's going to bring up a 3rd and long here for LSU. But LSU's offense, insane. Best in points per game at 47. Best in yards per game at 553. Best in yards per play at 8.1. The best 3rd down team in the country at 57%. And in yards per play, they're the 4th highest, and they took that away before I could finish reading it. But, while they are the best 3rd down team in the country, they've got a tough 3rd down here. 3rd and 10, they're 0 for 1 on 3rd down so far, which is a 3rd and 12. So 3rd and 10, Daniels looks to throw. Alabama rushes 5. Daniels has time. He's going to try to step up in the pocket, but he's got nowhere to go. And he's taken down for a sack at the 30. That's one of the ones where he just had to roll outside of the pocket. Stayed in the pocket a little bit too long there. It ends up collapsing. And I really don't know how he thought he could break the pocket right there by stepping up in it. But here is Damian Rojas for a... Damian Ramos. Read that wrong. For a 47-yard field goal attempt on this 4th and 14 for LSU. And his kick is on the way to his right, and it's going to stay right, and it's no good. And LSU comes away with no points for the 2nd straight possession that ends up in Alabama territory. Ramos has been good on the year. 11 of 13. But that one from the right hash just stays right the entire way. Penix with an amazing touchdown. I just checked the score of that game. I see 14-14. I'm going to have to go back and watch the highlights of that game later. I wish these two games weren't on at the same time. But that game is going to be insane. Or is insane. I see it now in the Gamecast. A 22-yard touchdown. I'm trying to keep an eye on that game as well, but there is just... It's a lot between this game, Alabama, LSU, and Washington, USC. Another score update on games going on around the country. Oregon and Cal, 49-19 now. Oregon scores another touchdown. Also, Tez Johnson in that game for Oregon. 10 catches, 180 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Also, thank you for the update on Washington, USC. Appreciate that. Let me see if we can pull them both up. I don't know if that's going to work or not. You're going back and forth between USC, Washington, and this LSU Bama game. Okay. Cool. I appreciate the update. I am able to pull both of them up, although I can't physically have the game at the size I want. Here we go. Here we go. Hold up. I gotta rearrange my tabs. Alright, here we go. Alabama with the football at their own 29. Milroe has time. He wants to launch it deep. And now Milroe is going to take a sack back at the 26. That is sometimes a weakness of Jalen Milroe. He goes and holds the football too long. Oh, here's the touchdown from Penix. Oh, wow. That was, I mean, to escape that sack and then make that throw into a congested area in the end zone, that's a nice play. But 2nd and 13, Milroe on the keeper on the option play. Milroe is going to lower the shoulder and gain 5. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 8 here for Alabama. The LSU defense wants to force its Alabama to a 3rd and long. Obvious passing situations. That's what you want to do if you're LSU's defense, which isn't great. If you put USC and LSU on the same field, you'd probably see like 150 combined points. The quarterbacks, leading rushers for both teams, Daniels 55. Rest of the LSU team is 22. Milroe with 36 yards. The rest of the team has 25, I believe. Alabama 3 of 4 on 3rd downs. Here's a 3rd and 8 from the 30. Milroe looks to throw. He's going to roll outside of the pocket. Milroe still looking downfield. He's just going to flip this forward to McClellan, who's now got plenty of space to run after the catch. Jace McClellan down the sideline. He's forced out of bounds at the 28. What a catch and run there for Jace McClellan on what looked like Jalen Milroe had nowhere to go with the football. He ends up just doing a little jump pass and dumping it off to McClellan on the check down, who's then got plenty of space after the catch. Really nice play there. And then McClellan does the rest all the way inside LSU territory, inside the 30, at the 27. That is the 4th Alabama play of 20-plus yards. LSU also with 4 plays of 20-plus yards. So 1st and 10 here. 9:05 to go in the 2nd quarter. Milroe going to hand off to McClellan. And no, we got play blown dead. We got a pre-snap penalty. Looks like it's going to be on Alabama. It is on Alabama. It's a false start on their tight end. C.J. Dupree, number 81, with the penalty there. So 1st and 15. So 1st and 15, that backs him up to the 32. Rodarius Williams puts out wide. Empty backfield for Jalen Milroe. Milroe looks to throw. Pump fakes. Now launches one deep down the field to the end zone. That is incomplete. Kobe Prentice, the intended target. And incomplete brings up a 2nd and 15. Defender tried to go make a play on that ball, but just out of his reach. Milroe, 7 of 11, 128 yards, also has, I believe, 35 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. So here is a 2nd and 15 from the 32. Milroe looks to throw. Nope, now he's going to tuck it and run. Milroe is taken down at the 24-yard line. So that's going to bring up a 3rd and more manageable than 15. So I'll pick up there. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7, somewhere around there. Maybe 3rd and 5. Not sure. Say 3rd and 7. So nice job by Milroe just to get what he can there to make this an easier 3rd down. 3rd and 7. Milroe looks to throw. He's pressured. They're going to set up the screen to Williams, who's taken down right there at the 30. Nowhere to go after the catch for Rodarius Williams, and that's going to bring up a 4th and long for Alabama, and they're going to be forced to set up for a field goal. Big stop by the LSU defense. And Alabama will send on Mr. Reliable Will Reichard, who's made 28 straight field goals. His last miss was last year in the loss to Tennessee, which ends up being a costly miss and probably losing him the game. 47-yard field goal. And Reichard's kick is no good. He missed it. His first miss in over a year. And the score is going to stay right where it is. He pushes it right. So Will Reichard misses a field goal. Right after LSU misses a field goal. And it remains 14-7. LSU's going to get the ball back at roughly their own 37. So solid starting field position. Alright, hold on. I'm trying to see if I can put this Washington. No, that's not going to work. Maybe we can put that there. I'm trying to see if I can arrange the tabs on my screen where I can put Washington. That's not going to work. Where I can put Washington, USC, and have that up on my computer as well. Or, maybe what I could do is I could get that game up on my phone. Hold on, let me try something. While we wait for them to come back from commercial. But let's see if we got any other updates around the country. Michigan's kicked a field goal. It is now 20-0 over Purdue. Washington has scored a touchdown. No team's gotten a stop defensively yet in that game. It is 21-14. USC. Iowa State's kicked a field goal, getting on the board 14-3. And that is it. Oh, hold on. Alright, 2nd and 10 here from their own 29-yard line. Daniels, another low snap. Daniels throws over the middle, caught by Malik Neighbors. Neighbors breaks a tackle and is taken down after a gain of 12 up to the 41-yard line. Malik Neighbors is just so good. One of the best receivers in the country. I would say he's probably number 2 or 3. Behind Marvin Harrison Jr. and potentially Rome Odunze of Washington. But maybe Luther Burden, but I think Neighbors is better. Daniels on the option. He's going to keep this and take it up the middle for a gain of 5. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 5. So 2nd and 5 for LSU. Jaden Daniels, 5 carries, 60 yards so far. Saw 21 points in the first quarter. I've not seen a single point in the second quarter. We've seen 9 minutes played. Daniels throws to the outside, caught by Neighbors. He picks up a first down inside Alabama territory, and forward progress will get him up to the 48. No, sorry, that was Brian Thomas with the catch. I thought that was Malik Neighbors. I'm not sure why. Where did I don't know where. I think I just made up the number 8 on the guy's jersey. Malik Neighbors wasn't even in the frame. Okay, I completely made up that Malik Neighbors was with the catch there. But 1st and 10 here at the 47. Daniels in shotgun. Emery is the back line to his right. Daniels will look to throw. He's got time. Daniels underneath. That is caught by Brian Thomas. Thomas inside the 30. He's forced out of bounds at the 25. And Brian Thomas Jr. and Malik Neighbors combined for what may be one of the best, or what is one of the best receiving duos in the country. I'm trying to think of the players I think are better than them. I think they're probably a better duo than Ohio State with Emeka Mbuka and Marvin Harrison Jr. LSU's got a free play, no play blown dead because he made contact with the center. That's going to give him a free 5 yards. But I think this LSU duo with Thomas and Neighbors is 2nd best in the country, behind Washington with either... I mean, Washington's got so many good receivers over there. You could put... Rome Odunze is definitely one of them. But I think their 2nd best receivers, either Jalen Polk or Jalen McMillan. You can't go wrong with either one. But these two LSU receivers, 56 catches, 981 yards and 9 touchdowns for Neighbors, and 11 touchdowns, which is tied for the country lead for Brian Thomas Jr. So 1st and 5 following the penalty inside the red zone at the 19. Play clock winding down. They just got the snap off. Here's a handoff to Emery, who's going to bounce to the outside and then cut back up the middle and get right back to the line of scrimmage. Not much space there. Alright, I tried to pull up the Washington USC game for this play as well, but I'm not sure how that's going to work. So here is a 2nd and 5. Daniels in shotgun, back on to his left. That is Emery. Low snap. Daniels throws to the outside. That is behind his intended target, which was John Emery Jr. out of the backfield, and incomplete. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 5 because of the penalty on 1st down. Otherwise, it would still be a 3rd and 10. I throw a little bit behind the intended target. LSU 24 plays, 209 yards. Alabama 26 plays, 191 yards. Daniels looks to throw to the outside. That is caught for a 1st down by Neighbors inside the 10, and he's forced out of bounds at the 8. Another Washington touchdown. Dylan Johnson, another touchdown run. But here is a 1st and goal for LSU. They're knocking on the door here. Empty backfield for Jaden Daniels as Emery motions out wide. Daniels, a design quarterback run. Daniels going to bounce to the outside, and Daniels is in for an LSU touchdown. The first points of the 2nd quarter. And it is a 9-yard touchdown run for Jaden Daniels. He's got 69 yards on 6 carries. And now a touchdown for LSU as well. Got 1 passing touchdown, 1 rushing touchdown. Alabama was prepared for the quarterback run. Daniels just does a great job of bouncing it outside. So here's Ramos for the extra point after an 8-play, 71-yard drive. And the extra point right through, and the game tied up at 14. Let me go change to the Washington USC game for the moment. And they're a commercial, of course. But this game now tied at 14 with 3:09 to go in the second quarter. Washington USC is tied up at 21 with 6:44 to go in the second quarter. Dylan Johnson, 10 carries, 104 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Washington so far. He just ran for a 52-yarder. And let's see if there's any other scores. Oregon scores another touchdown. It's now 56-19 as they lead Cal. Purdue gets on the board with a field goal. It is now 20-3. And that is it. The next game kicks off at 10 o'clock. So another, hour and 7 minutes? Alright, so waiting for them to come back from commercial break here. Alabama getting the football back after an LSU touchdown. So far, results in the poll, 60% of you guys have said Alabama will win, 40% have said LSU. Make sure to vote if you guys have not already done so. Here we got the touchdown for Washington against USC. Here's the Dylan Johnson touchdown run. Untouched. 52 yards. That game, 21-21. Or untouched until we got to the 3. 21-21, still 6:44 to go in the second quarter. They may hit 50 points in the first half. They've already combined for 42. But the kick here from LSU is away. And it is going to be returned from the 1 by Alabama. And on the return, is still on his feet, taken down at the 27. Nice return there. Sets Alabama up with solid starting field position, a bit better than average of 25. And Jalen Milroe and the Alabama offense come back onto the field with the game tied at 14. So 3:03 to go in the second quarter. LSU with 1 timeout left to go in the first half. Alabama with 3. LSU has outgained Alabama. They took that away really quickly. But each quarterback good through the air and on the ground, and with 2 total touchdowns. Here is the toss to a Miller running right, and he's going to get maybe a loss of a yard. Not much to run there. Who do you like in this game? All you can say. So all I can care less in who will win this game. I don't really care who wins this game. Well, I don't really like either team. I would go with LSU to win the game just to see Alabama lose. And officially eliminate the playoff contention, but I'm not a fan of either team. Here's the long throw to the outside for Jermaine Burton. He's going to make the catch in a gain of 8 or 9 on the play. So here is a 3rd and 3 for Alabama. They give him 7 yards there on that completion to Jermaine Burton, his first catch of the day. Milroe looks to throw. Milroe out of the backfield. That is caught by Miller. Miller with plenty of grass ahead of him. Miller taken down from behind at the 34. A big catch and run there for Alabama. Moves the chains on 3rd down and gets it inside LSU territory. And a nice catch and run there. So ball on the LSU 33. Milroe rolls to his right. Milroe going to tuck it and run. Milroe is going to head out of bounds at the 28. Picks up 5 on the first down scramble. Stopping the clock with 1:35 to go in the second quarter. But that little dump off to Miller just out of the reach of the defender, Harold Perkins, who was almost able to deflect that. So here's a 2nd and 6. Milroe looks to throw. Pump fakes. Got plenty of time. Milroe going to launch deep towards the end zone. And incomplete. Knocked away by Major Burns. And that is incomplete to bring up a 3rd and 6. Hey, what's up? How's it going? Really nice play by Burns to knock that ball away. Although he is now injured on the play. Or after the play. So hopefully he's okay. He is a safety for LSU, a junior from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And while they get a commercial... Oh, no, I accidentally closed that. I did not want to do that. I accidentally closed Washington USC. USC scored another touchdown already? Wow. They've now got 3 rushing touchdowns. This may be like the highest scoring game ever. Taj Washington with the touchdown catch. They show the replay of it. First passing touchdown of the day for USC. Sorry, I got these teams all confused. Because I'm trying to keep track of 4 teams. 41-yard touchdown pass, Caleb Williams to Taj Washington. And that game 28-21. With still 4:04 to go in the second quarter. I mean, I should have streamed that game. That game's so high scoring and so fun. But I mean, this game's still good as well. Although, I mean, we haven't necessarily seen we've seen 28 combined points. We haven't necessarily seen 28 by one team and 21 by the other. That's just insane. I wonder what the over-under is for that game. Let me see. The over-under... I know for Iowa and Northwestern, the over-under was 29, which is the lowest it has ever was. And that game ended 10-7. The over-under for Washington USC is 75.5. Score 56... No, that's not right. 42. Sorry, I did my math way wrong. They've combined for 42 in the first quarter. The first half. So far, results in the poll: 57% of you guys have said LSU will win. 43% say Alabama. Make sure to vote if you guys have not already done so. Major Burns looks to be okay as he's standing on the sideline with his helmet on. They're going to hit the over. Yeah, I mean, they've almost hit the over in the first half. 42, or not quite. They're like halfway there. But yeah, definitely. I would agree. I'm thinking they scored over 50. 42 combined points. I did my math way wrong, but yeah, I would definitely agree with that. Now we got some early movement. Not sure which side it was from. I was just looking back over. Let's see. This is going to create an interesting discussion here. Both sides moved. Which side moved first? Here's a replay of it. It was LSU who moved first, but I'm not sure if he ever jumped off sides. It's a false start. He didn't jump off sides. Nick Saban said about that call. And here's a replay, but you can't... Yeah, I don't think he ever crossed the line of scrimmage, so... I think that's a pretty good call. And I'm going to check out the Oregon State-Colorado game later. That should be another somewhat good one. Not quite as good as the two going on now, but that should be an interesting one. 3rd and 11. Milroe looks to throw. Milroe going to tuck it and run. Milroe picks up a first down inside the 20. Nope, sorry, he's taken down, or forced it bounce at the 21. Stop and clock with 1:20 to go in the first half. Jalen Milroe already 10 rushes for 61 yards and 2 touchdowns. His legs a very valuable part of this Alabama offense. So 1:20 to go in the first half. Milroe, plenty of time. Now he's going to tuck it. Nope. And throw a way off. Isaiah Bond was wide open down the sideline. Milroe just rushed it. If he hits Bond right there, that's a touchdown. Instead, he throws it way over his head. LSU, I think, forgot about him. And Milroe missed him. Like, quite a bit. So here is a 2nd and 10. Milroe on the design run right. Milroe is forced out of bounds after a gain of only a yard. Well defended by LSU. So 3rd and 9. Alabama currently on an 8-play, 53-yard drive, 4 runs, 4 passes. LSU will get the second half kickoff, so Alabama would like to get points here and take a lead before halftime, even though they don't want to leave too much time for LSU, who can score extremely quickly. Milroe looks to throw on 3rd and 9. Milroe is going to cut up the field, and Milroe in for his 3rd rushing touchdown of the day. All 3 Alabama touchdowns have come... Why can I not click on Alabama? There we go. Have come on the ground from Jalen Milroe. 82 rushing yards and 3 rushing touchdowns for Milroe so far. And that caps off a 9-play, 74-yard drive. And Will Reichard for the extra point. His kick is right down the middle. So 21-14. Alabama leads LSU, but there's still a minute. Hold up, we got offsides. Offsides on the extra point, but Nick Saban declines it, so the extra point is good anyway. But LSU still has a 1:01 and a timeout to work with. So maybe they could potentially get points here. And get points. Here Washington is going for it on 4th down. They find a wide open receiver. And Washington converts on 4th and 6, getting it to the 9-yard line. Looked like they may have had a free play, but they didn't. Ends up being a big completion for Washington. They're down inside the 10-yard line. Rome Odunze wide open there. And he gets it to the 9. Alright, back to LSU, Alabama. This kick is a touchback, so it goes into the back of the end zone. And Jaden Daniels and the LSU offense will take over with a 1:01 and 1 timeout to work with. Milroe has done a really good job scrambling around so far. 3 rushing touchdowns. A couple of designed runs, but most of his rushing yards, 82 of them so far, have been scrambles. Jalen Milroe, 3 rushing touchdowns tonight. That is the most by an Alabama quarterback since 2016 when Jalen Hurts did it against Tennessee. And he's done that in just one half. Who knows what he can do in the second half of play. And Alabama's been a lot better in the second half than the first half so far this season. Here's a little touch pass forward to, I don't know who that is. That is Jackson. That brings up a 2nd and 2 here, or a 2nd and 9 for Alabama. For LSU, sorry. LSU will also get the second half kickoff. So 43 seconds to go in the first half. Daniels in shotgun. He looks to throw. Daniels to the outside, a long throw, incomplete. I think he wanted Malik Neighbors to come back for that ball a bit more. And now, after 2 quick plays, that's going to bring up a 3rd and 9, with the clock stopped at 36 seconds to go. So now if you're LSU, you don't want to do anything too risky here and get like a pick or turnover in any way. But if they could pick up a 3rd down, that could be big in putting together a drive. But I don't know if I love the idea of running the ball. I think I'm just going to go with a high percentage completion that has a chance to pick up a 1st down if I'm LSU. So here's a 3rd and 9. Daniels looks to throw. Daniels going to tuck it and run. Daniels picks up a 1st down. Daniels still going. Daniels to the 40. Daniels is dragged down from behind at the 33. A big run there for Jaden Daniels. And the clock will temporarily stop with 25 seconds to go in the half. And he gets it deep into Alabama territory. Both quarterbacks have really shown what they can do on the ground. Daniels up to 109 yards rushing. And now prior to the snap, we've got a false start. Or we've got a pre-snap flag. I think this is going to be a false start. And if this could be costly because that comes with a 10-second runoff. But I think LSU would use their timeout to prevent that. It would be a 10-second runoff because it was a running clock. It was a false start. Snap infraction. They will, in fact, take the timeout to avoid the runoff, I believe. Yeah, they do. There it is. So they're the 3rd and final timeout for LSU. So 24 seconds to go in the first half. A 1st and 15 here for LSU. Everything now needs to either be a 1st down or out of bounds. With no timeouts remaining. Alabama still has all 3 timeouts remaining. So here is a 1st and 15. So 1st and 15, Alabama leads this one 21-14. Logan Diggs motions out of the backfield. We have an empty backfield for Jaden Daniels, who looks to throw from the 39. Daniels, plenty of time. He's going to step up in the pocket and run. Daniels has plenty of space ahead. Daniels breaks his back to the outside. Daniels out of bounds at the 10 now. Flag comes in as well. A big scramble there for Jaden Daniels. He's got a lot of their yards on this drive. And Arnold is injured on the play for Alabama. Hopefully he's okay. Oh, they're going to call an illegal blindside block there. That is on Brian Thomas Jr. Actually, they're calling on Aaron Anderson. No, it was Anderson. Sorry, I thought I saw 11. That is an illegal blindside block. So that's going to give him, what is that, 10 or 15? I'm not sure. Set him behind. And that is also how Arnold was injured, so hopefully he's okay. He is able to walk up the field, so that is a good sign. Good defensive back for Alabama. So 1st and 10, 13 seconds to go. That would be either 10 or 15 from the spot of the foul, so it's not going to completely set him too far back, but still going to set him back quite a distance. The ball is on the Alabama 26. So now what you could do if you're LSU is you could do one of two things. You could, one, take a couple shots at the end zone, or two, try to get closer to the end zone. How do you have a 1st and 1? I'm so confused about that. But apparently we got a 1st and 1 for LSU. Neighbors in motion. Daniels looks to throw. He's got plenty of time. Over the middle, that is caught for a 1st down and more. And that is into the end zone for an LSU touchdown. Lacey with the touchdown, and we are tied, or an extra point away from a tie game. At 21, it is 21-20. Kyron Lacey with the touchdown catch there. And LSU with a big touchdown there. And that ties the game up. Plus they get the ball at halftime. Or at halftime. So we are an extra point away from a tie game. 21-20. With 5 seconds to go. Let's see here. The extra point. Nailed it. 21-21. Alabama and LSU are tied. LSU will get the football to start the second half. By the way, update on Washington USC. That game's still tied at 28 after a fumble by Caleb Williams. Washington inside the 10 at the 9-yard line with a 2nd and 7. Where they will run the football. And Dylan Johnson is going to get the ball down to the 1 for Washington with 30 seconds to go in the first half. I'm literally going back and forth between those games so fast right now. LSU will receive the second half kickoff. So 5 seconds to go in the half. Going to be time for like a kneel down. That's it. I don't really think they're going to do anything too crazy here for Alabama. I think they've got to be pretty pleased with how this first half has gone. Maybe not defensively, but being right in this game offensively, even though LSU's been able to score, I think Alabama's got to be pretty happy with that. Here's a little squib kick from LSU. And there's going to be 2 seconds left on the clock for Alabama. By the way, Caleb Williams, update on the Washington USC. Dylan Johnson did not pick up the 1st down. Maybe he did. They're discussing something right now. They're measuring. So they did give him the 1st down now. But back to this game. Alabama. It looks like they're going to try to throw a Hail Mary. With the ball on their own 41. Milroe can throw it deep. And it appears as if they're going to try. 1st and 10. Milroe going to roll out to his right. That's exactly what he needs. He's got to run into this. No, he's just going to tuck it and run. Milroe is going to head out of bounds at the 38. But there's a flag that comes in. It looks like it's going to be in the area of holding. Washington scores a touchdown, by the way. It was holding. And the penalty is declined. Ooh, almost just knocked over my microphone. And the half is over. So we head to halftime, tied at 21. LSU gets the football to begin the second half. And Washington is taking the 35-28 lead over Washington. After a Caleb Williams turnover, turns into a touchdown run for Dylan Johnson, who's got 117 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground for Washington. That game is insane. But I'm going to go take a quick break as I do at halftime of every game. I will be back in a few minutes from updated score prediction and all that fun stuff. Second half as well, and maybe even more on the Washington USC games. I'll be back in a couple minutes. Alright, I'm back. Thank you guys for staying with me as I took a quick break, which actually ended up not being very quick. Ended up being like 7 minutes, but whatever. Thank you guys for staying with me as I took a break. Alabama and LSU tied at 21 at halftime. It's been a good game so far. I would expect that to continue. Seen a lot of points scored so far. I would also expect that trend to continue. And speaking of points, an update on Washington USC. That game, 35-28 at the half. Insane. I mean, they're on pace. That game is on pace to be 70-56. That is insane. I'm going to go over some updated scores from around the country in a couple minutes. But first, let's go over my updated score predictions. So originally, I said LSU by a score of 45-34. Honestly, I think that's going to be kind of the range it goes. I think we're going to see a lot more points, being scored. And I think LSU is the better team offensively, and that's going to lead them to the win. I'm going to stick with LSU. I think it will be a close game. Maybe a little bit closer than 45-34. But let's go updated score prediction. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to continue to be a shootout. Alabama's offense will look good. I think that will continue. And let's go LSU 42-38. So this is going to be a game where a lot of points are scored. And I'm going to stick with my prediction of LSU, though. Some updated scores from around the country in ranked games. Kansas leads Iowa State 21-3 with 7:15 to go in the third quarter. Michigan and Purdue 20-6 at halftime. Michigan leads Washington USC. I talked about a second ago, 35-28. Washington leads USC at the half, and obviously our game tied at 21 at halftime. No other games have finished. Actually, Oregon Cal finished 63-19. Oregon defeated Cal. But otherwise, no other games have finished. And going over some stats from the first half. Let's do that real quick. Starting off with player stats for LSU. Jaden Daniels, 10 of 16 for 164. Wow, these quarterback passing stats are nearly identical. Both quarterbacks 10 of 16. Daniels has thrown for one less yard than Jalen Milroe. Milroe, 10 of 16, 165 yards. Jaden Daniels, 10 of 16, 164 yards. The only difference comes in the touchdown column for passing, whereas Daniels has 2 passing touchdowns, Milroe with 0. But Milroe 3 rushing touchdowns, Daniels with 1. But passing for LSU, Jaden Daniels, 10 of 16, 164 yards. 2 touchdowns, no picks. Rushing LSU, Jaden Daniels is the game's leading rusher, 8 carries, 137 yards, and a touchdown, averaging 17 yards per carry, a long of 40 yards. Logan Diggs, 5 carries, 16 yards. Josh Williams, 1 for 6, and John Emery Jr., 1 for 0. Receiving for LSU, Malik Neighbors, 4 for 89 and a touchdown. Brian Thomas Jr., 2 for 31. Kyron Lacey, 1 for 26 and a touchdown. Mason Taylor, 1 for 11. Josh Williams, 1 for 6, and Caleb Jackson, 1 for 1. Alabama, I talked about Jalen Milroe a second ago. So rushing for Alabama, Jalen Milroe, 13 for 102 and 3 touchdowns. Jason McClellan, 4 for 16, and Jam Miller, 3 for 7. And receiving for Alabama, McClellan, 1 for 42. That was a big catch and run. Isaiah Bond, 3 for 37. Jam Miller, 1 for 35. Kobe Prentice, 1 for 22. Kendrick Wall, 1 for 16. C.J. Dupree, 1 for 11. Jermaine Burton, 1 for 7. And Roydell Williams, 1 for Wallace, 5. Alabama's just one player who has more than 1 catch, and that is Isaiah Bond, who has 3. And finally, going over some team stats for each team from the first half. First downs, that is very even. LSU with 13, Alabama with 14. Total yards, also extremely similar. 323 for LSU, 290 for Alabama. Rushing, slight favor for LSU, but pretty close. And penalties, no team has turned the ball over. Penalties, 3 penalties, 25 yards for LSU, 4 for 30 for Alabama. And time possession, also fairly even. 18 for LSU, 15-42 for Alabama. So very, very even first half. I think that's going to continue. This is going to be a really close game. And I've got LSU ending up on top with the win. Give me 1 second. Alright, waiting for them to begin the second half, so I've got this all set for the second half. LSU is going to receive to kick off. There we go. So LSU going to get the second half kickoff. So far, results in the poll, 60% of you guys have said LSU will win, 40% have said Alabama. Make sure to vote if you guys have not already done so. They're actually still at halftime. They've still got the Alabama band on the field. But the second half should begin fairly soon. If you guys have an updated score prediction, make sure to put it in the chat. Hold on 1 second. There we go. So, still waiting for them to start the second half. It should begin shortly. Make sure to vote on the poll if you guys have not already done so. If you guys have a score prediction, let me know in the comments. So still waiting for them to begin the second half. Let me know if you have an updated score prediction or anything like that. My updated score prediction is LSU 42-34. Oh, sorry, 42-38. Updated score in Kansas, Iowa State. It is now 22-11. After an Iowa State touchdown and 2-point conversion. Otherwise, no other scores have changed on the 4 ranked games going on at the moment. West Virginia's destroying BYU 30-0. I just switched to all games in the FBS to see if there's any other interesting scores that I'll point out. Not really. Next game kicks off in about a half hour, Oregon State and Colorado. I've got Oregon State in that game. In that game, I have Oregon State 38-20. Alright, how long is this halftime? This seems like it's unusually long. Let's see, how long have we been at halftime for? We've been at halftime for 19 minutes. That is quite a long time, if you ask me. Bo Nix finished with 6 touchdowns in the 63-19 win over Cal. Alright. Now they're back from halftime. We're set to begin the third quarter. Any second now. It's been a close first half, and I would expect that to continue here. And I will also continue to closely keep an eye on Washington USC, as that game has been wild so far. How many points have we had? 49 points in the first half of that game combined. And that'll probably be a lot more high scoring there, so we'll keep an eye on that one. But here we've got LSU coming onto the field at their own 25-yard line. Quarterback comparison, very even. Daniels with roughly 30 more yards, each team with 3 touchdowns, 10 of 16 passing. Very, very even. Jalen Milroe's been able to match the production of Jaden Daniels. And Milroe's really put the Alabama offense on his back, which is what he's going to have to do the rest of this game as well, I believe. Daniels hands off to Logan Diggs up the middle. They're going to try to reestablish the run game. Didn't really run the football a ton in the first half. Neither team ran the ball that much outside of quarterback runs / scrambles. I think each team's ran the ball twice designed quarterback runs. So that's 9 rushes for Alabama and 10 for LSU. Neither team ran the ball that much, but they ended up with a lot of rushes because of quarterback scrambles and stuff like that. Daniels looks to throw on 2nd and 6. He's got time. Throws down the field. That is incomplete. Thomas, the intended target, but could not haul that one in. It's probably one he should have caught. Hit him in the shoulder. And our only third down for for LSU here in the second half. They're 2 of 4 for third down on the day, and the best third down team in the country. Diggs in motion. Empty backfield for Daniels. He looks to throw. Daniels underneath, that is caught by Neighbors. Neighbors breaking tackles after the catch. He's up to the 46-yard line, and a big catch and run moves the chains for LSU. So 1st and 10, Daniels off play action, throws outside, caught by Neighbors. Neighbors is this time taken down right at the line of scrimmage by Arnold, who's good to see him back on the field after he left with an injury in the first half. A little bubble screen out to Neighbors, very poorly blocked by the two receivers over there, Brian Thomas and Kyron Lacey. But here is a 2nd and 10 at the 46. Daniels pump fakes multiple times. Now he's going to roll out to the right. Daniels gets the edge, crosses midfield, and he's forced to bounce at the 44, right at the line to gain. And that's going to be a 1st down for LSU. Daniels may finish the game with like 300 yards rushing. They wanted to set up that screen. Daniels did not like what he saw. Daniels up to 329 total yards and 3 touchdowns. 148 rushing yards, 181 passing yards. So 1st and 10 from the 43. Daniels in shotgun. It's going to look to throw. Alabama rushes 5. Daniels with plenty of time. Launches downfield. That is caught by Neighbors, but was he inbounds? They're going to say yes. And what a catch and throw. What a throw and catch from Daniels to Neighbors. I thought he was out of bounds. Ooh, that's good. Oh, wow. What a job to keep his foot in bounds by Malik Neighbors. He was going to land out of bounds, but he was able to bring his foot back in bounds. What a play. So ball on the 13. Daniels hands off up the middle here to 27. I don't know who that is, and he's going to gain a 4 up to the 9-yard line, or down to the 9-yard line. A 27. Let's see. Who is that? That is Josh Williams. So here is a 2nd and 6 from the 9. Daniels on the design quarterback run. Daniels has a 1st down, and he's powering his way towards the end zone, but he's thrown down to the 1. Maybe 2. But a 1st down, and we've got a 1st and goal here for LSU. Daniels got hit pretty hard there, but he's a tough runner. So the 1st and goal here. For LSU, they've ran for 185 yards. Almost all of them have come from Jaden Daniels. Not quite all, but just about all. Outside of him, they've run for maybe 30 yards. So here's a 1st and goal. They go 13 personnel. And they hand off up the middle to Williams. He's going to bounce to the outside. Williams walks in for an LSU touchdown. What a decision to bounce that outside after he runs into a wall on the 1st effort. Josh Williams, a 2-yard touchdown run. And LSU retakes the lead. It is now 27-21. An extra point will make it 28-21. Great decision by Josh Williams. Bounced that outside. And LSU scores on the opening drive of the 3rd quarter. A 2-yard touchdown run. A quick drive for LSU under 4 minutes. 9 plays, 75 yards, 3:46 off the clock. And here is Ramos for the extra point. And he nails it. 28-21. LSU leads. I believe we've seen a touchdown in every single possession this drive. Or every single possession this game. Let me check. No, actually, that's not true. Alabama started off the game with a punt. Alright, never mind. That was way off. I don't know what I was saying right there. We've seen a touchdown in every drive except for missed field goals, the end of the half, which I don't count as a drive, and Alabama's first drive, which was a punt. In the Washington USC game, which has been wild, there has been a touchdown. Actually, the teams traded punts after going 7-0, but then it has been all touchdowns until a USC fumble there. Washington USC just set to kick off the second half. Now Washington gets the ball, and if they go up 14, that could be huge right here. with USC's inability to get a stop. Also, USC's inability to tackle on kickoff returns could hurt them as well. But waiting for them to come back from commercial break here. Alabama going to get the football for their first possession here in the second half. We've got Washington USC on for a play here. They're going to hand off to Dylan Johnson, who had an insane game here in Ferrari. He's got 3 touchdowns in the first half. He's run for 3. Penix has thrown for 2. Alright, they're now back from commercial break. Alabama going to get the football with 11:14 to go in the third quarter. If I'm confusing you guys going back and forth between games, sorry about that. Here's another good run from Johnson. He goes to the 40, and now I'm going to switch back to the LSU-Alabama game for the next several minutes until another commercial. Here is a return for Alabama, a good return across the 25 to the 29-yard line. Beautiful return. And just so you guys know, if this LSU-Alabama game ends sooner than the Washington USC game, I will stay on live and do what I'm doing now for Alabama-LSU for Washington USC. So don't go anywhere if this game ends and Washington USC is still on. Which, at the pace we're going, it seems like this game, LSU-Alabama, will end sooner than Washington USC. So here is a 1st and 10 at the 30. Milroe, off play action. He is going to tuck this and run. Milroe is going to gain 6 on the play. And these two quarterbacks have been insane so far. Jaden Daniels, 301 total yards in the first half. Most total yards in the first half against Alabama since the 2017 National Championship game. These two quarterbacks have combined for, let me add up the math real quick, 107 rushing for Milroe, 165 passing for Milroe, 211 passing for Daniels, and 155 rushing for Daniels. 638 yards of offense. Here they hand off to McClellan up the middle for a gain of about 2, and that's going to bring up a 3rd and 4. But, I mean, that is just insane quarterback play. So here we have a 3rd and 1 for Alabama, looking to keep their opening drive of the third quarter alive. That will hand off on what was the tush-push formation. He's still in bounds, and Miller tight ropes the sideline to the 41 of the LSU. Or to the 41 inside LSU territory. That's the second time we've seen Alabama line up and look like they're going to go tush-push, and not. This time they hand it off. We have seen, when we do math, 26 plays of 10-plus yards. That was another one for Alabama. Alabama with 12, LSU with 14. So here's a 1st and 10 for Alabama. Milroe, all kinds of times, he's going to launch one deep down the field. Open receiver, incomplete. Burton was open for a second, ended up having a safety come over to make it double covered. And that is incomplete. Jermaine Burton, the intended target, a very good deep threat for Alabama. So here is a 2nd and 10. Alabama trails 28-21 with 9:23 to go in the third quarter. McClellan exits the backfield. Ball on their own 49-yard line. Milroe looks to throw. Milroe has time. Nope, that pass batted at the line and incomplete. Jones got a hand on it and knocked it down. And that is going to bring up a 3rd and 10 here for Alabama. Another 3rd and long. They have been exceptionally good on 3rd down so far. Milrow on third downs passing, 4 of 4, 6 first downs, rushing included. Milrow is going to take off the run here on this 3rd and long. He's got space ahead of him, and he's got a first down as well. He's forced it down to the 34, 15 yards, and an Alabama first down. Alabama's been insane on 3rd down. So 1st and 10 on the 33. Milrow in shotgun. Here he hands off to Roy Darius Williams up the middle, and Williams with a physical run, gains 7. Just goes on up the middle, bouncing off defenders, and picks up 7 on 1st down. They're going to give him 8 there. So here is a 2nd and 2. Milrow hands off up the middle to Williams once again. He breaks free into the secondary. He's taken down at the 16. And Alabama moving the football a lot here on this drive, as they have it inside the red zone at the 16-yard line. So here's a 1st and 10. Milrow again hands off to Williams, who makes one man miss, and Williams in for a touchdown, and Alabama answers. And we are an extra point away from a tie game once again. Roydell Williams' 16-yard touchdown run. And Alabama is an extra point away from tying this game up. Nine plays, 70 yards, 7 of those plays on the ground. And Reichard for the extra point is up and good. 28-28, we are tied once again. A large portion of this game has been tied. I just switched back over to the Washington USC game. USC somehow got a stop, and they now have the ball inside Washington territory. Williams is just doing magical things. He's out of bounds after somehow escaping a sack, running for about 30 yards, only to gain about 8. Let's see, how did they get a stop? They force a punt, turnover. Let's see what happened. Interception, okay. Penix threw a pick in the end zone. Michael Penix has been a little turnover prone as of late. That's his 7th pick. And he's now thrown a pick in 4 straight games in 4 of the last 5 games. But I mean, he's a little bit of a risk taker, as last year ended with 8 picks. So he's a guy who will throw a couple interceptions just because he's going to take some chances. Oh, wait, this is now... No, never mind. I saw somebody on Washington running the other way with the ball. But that was probably just a screen or something like that ends up incomplete. That might be a fumble. Not really sure. Let's see. That's a catch right there. Then he tucks the ball. I think that might be a fumble. They're saying incomplete, though. Will Reichard, following that extra point, now has 500 career points. That is the most by a kicker in college football history. So congratulations to Will Reichard for setting that record. He has been Mr. Reliable for Alabama, although he has missed a field goal so far today. Here's a fair catch called for at the 2, and that will come out to the 25-yard line. So LSU with the football back, game tied at 28. Exactly halfway into the third quarter. 7.5 minutes to go. Tonight we've got 4 ties, 2 lead changes. We are tied up at 28 once again. We've been tied up at every single score. 7, 14, 21, and 28. As well as 0. Aside from 0, I mean. So, 1st and 10. Daniels looks to throw. Daniels going to roll out of the pocket, escaping the rush. Daniels is going to tuck and run, make one man miss. Daniels ends up getting leveled from behind by Dallas Turner after a gain of 8 on the play. Oh man, that was a big hit from Dallas Turner. Well, here's a 2nd and 1. Daniels 164 rushing yards and a touchdown on 11 carries. Daniels low snap, he hands off to Logan, digs up the middle, who is going to get... I don't think he got that first down. He needed a yard. He got like 3/4 of a yard. Awfully close to it, but I don't think he got it. So that brings up a 3rd and 1. Big 3rd down upcoming here. Daniels hands off up the middle. Diggs easily picks up the 1st down. He's going to gain 2 or 3 on the play. Looks like they're going to give him 2 up to the 37. He picks up the 1st down. And fresh set of downs for LSU. That is our 17th first down of the day. Alabama has 18 first downs. So here is a 1st and 10. Daniels, he's going to throw this one out to his tight end in the flat. Makes a nice one-handed catch, and going to pick up 3. Thrown a little bit behind Taylor, but he makes a nice catch before he's taken down by the true freshman Caleb Downs after a gain of 3. So 2nd and 7 here for LSU. 5:25 to go in the 3rd quarter. Daniels in shotgun. Now Diggs motions out of the backfield, leaving it empty for Daniels, who looks to throw. He's got time. Going to roll out. Now escape the rush, roll back out to his right. Daniels going to tuck it and run. Flag comes in. Daniels crosses midfield, and he's going to head it bounds at the 35. But I think this can come back for a hold. Dallas Turner had pressure on Jaden Daniels. If that was the hold, that is the softest hold ever. They do call it, but I mean, that's an awful call. Unless we can get a different look at that from that angle, that looks like a terrible call. Tonight, we've seen 8, combined between these two teams, 8 touchdowns on 12 possessions. Here is a 2nd and 17 following the penalty. Empty backfield for Jaden Daniels. He looks to throw. Daniels has time. Plenty of time. Daniels looking downfield. Daniels throwing downfield. That is dropped by the tight end Taylor and incomplete. Hit him in a bad spot. The hands. By the way, USC is tied up the game against Washington at 35. Just a little update for you guys there. Weak Neighbors can't believe Taylor dropped that one. But here is a 3rd and 17. From the 30. Daniels in shotgun. He looks to throw. He's got time. Daniels throws short to the outside. Caught by Taylor for a gain of maybe 6. That's going to bring up a 4th and 11. And they're going to be forced to punt this ball away for the first time today. So the first LSU punt upcoming. Alabama going to get the football. Their defense forces a stop. LSU has punted the ball just 15 times in their first 8 games. That is the fewest amount of times in the country. This is their first punt tonight. Kool-Aid McKinstry back deep to receive for Alabama. Here McKinstry calls for a fair catch on a short kick to the 32. And Alabama with good starting field position. So 28-28. Tie game head to... Oh, with about 4 minutes to go in the third. Switching to the Washington-USC game for the moment. Here's a 2nd and 3 for Washington. Game tied at 35. Dylan Johnson breaks free again. Johnson into space. Well into USC territory. Dylan Johnson's been a monster for Washington tonight. I don't know if that's included his last run. I don't think so. But he... Let me see if it has. It has. He's got 151 yards and 3 touchdowns. A 33-yard pickup there. And Washington has ran the ball quite a bit for them. I mean, they've ran the ball almost as many times as they've thrown the ball. And this is a really pass-heavy offense. They've ran the ball for 201 yards 23 times. They've thrown the ball for 227 yards 25 times. Penix is pressured. He wants one deep. Incomplete. That's going to be a flag. Odunze was definitely held. Was the intended target there. Multiple flags fly. I'll let you guys know when I switch back to the Alabama LSU game when they come back from commercial. I'm trying to make it so that I can go back and forth between these games, but so it's not confusing for you guys, where I'm trying to figure out which... So it's not confusing for you guys and trying to figure out which game I'm talking about. There was 2 fouls on that play, by the way. One roughing the passer, the other pass interference. The roughing the passer was accepted. So that's going to get Washington up to roughly the 15. Ooh, he went at the knee. Or went low on Penix. Yeah, Odunze was held, clearly. Alright, here we're back. LSU, Alabama. Milroe throws out to Burton quickly for, I believe that is his first catch of the day. Burton out of bounds after a solid pickup of 12. Let's see, was that the first pickup of the day for Jermaine, or first catch of the day for Jermaine Burton? No, that was his second, sorry. I don't remember his first catch. Must have come really early in the game. But 3.5 minutes to go, LSU and Alabama tied at 28, 1st and 10 at their own 44. Milroe hands off to Roydell Williams up the middle. Williams breaking tackles. Williams into the secondary. Very good run inside LSU territory, taking down at the 40. Roydell Williams always sees a lot more playing time in the second half than the first half. Nice run from Williams there on first down, getting it inside LSU territory. Ball on the 40. Updated score in Michigan-Purdue. Michigan leads now 27-6. They scored another touchdown. Milroe on the option. He's going to keep this. Milroe taken down after a gain of 6 on the play. It's going to bring up a 2nd down and 4. So far, results in the poll: 60% of you guys have said LSU will win, 40% have said Alabama. Make sure to vote. Have you guys not already done so? So 2nd and 4. Milroe throws quickly to the outside. That is caught by Bond. Breaks the tackle. Bond still going inside the 20. He's taken out of the 16. And Isaiah Bond with a good pickup there for Alabama inside the red zone. By the way, Washington with the 1st and goal. Here they swing this one out to Bond on 1st down. Bond is going to gain about 5, getting it to the 11. He may be the best or the favorite target for Jalen Milroe. He's looked the way of Isaiah Bond quite a few times. By the way, Washington scores a touchdown. Quarterback sneak from Michael Penix Jr. So here is a 2nd and 5. Milroe on the option here. He is going to keep this, and Milroe in for his 4th rushing touchdown of the day. Another rushing touchdown for Jalen Milroe. All 5 Alabama touchdowns have come on the ground. Oh, sorry. 4 of them from Jalen Milroe, who's now has 17 carries for 142 yards and 4 touchdowns. Jaden Daniels is responsible for 3 of the 4 LSU touchdowns. But what a quarterback duel we are seeing, especially with the rushing. Neither quarterback has truly outstanding numbers through the air. They're both good, but not amazing. But these are special quarterback rushing numbers we're seeing. Reichard knocks through the extra point, 35-28. Alabama leads LSU, and this is a really good performance from this Alabama offense. Now we got some pushing and shoving going on after the extra point. Harold Perkins in the middle of it. But no flags thrown. Alabama leads this one at 35-28. 1:01 to go in the 3rd quarter. Perkins ended up, I guess, just a little too close to the holder, then gave him a shove as Perkins went to go walk away. But 35-28, Alabama leads LSU. And a quick update on Washington USC. Washington has retaken the lead 42-35 in that game with 4:21 to go in the 3rd quarter. Michael Penix Jr. ran it in for a touchdown to cap off a 7-play, 75-yard drive for Washington. Washington has ran for 210 yards and 4 touchdowns. But both games are actually at commercial right now. So still waiting for them to come back from commercial break. LSU going to get the football. They trail by 7. Let's see if there's any updated scores around the country. Only one new one. That is Kansas leading Iowa State 28-18. Otherwise, all scores remain the same, or that you guys don't know about. I've recently updated you guys on Michigan, Purdue, Washington, USC, and obviously we know about LSU, Alabama. Jalen Milroe has set the Alabama record for most rushing touchdowns by a quarterback with 4. And we still have 16 minutes to play. So Reichert has it teed up, and LSU gets the football back. As kick the touchback, and Jaden Daniels and the offense will take over their own 25-yard line. We saw a great game in 2019 between these two teams when Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Justin Jefferson led the LSU offense. That was insane. That game, LSU won 46-41. That was also on the road. This game has been a thriller so far. Over 800 yards of offense so far. 49 combined points. First and 10 from the 25. Daniels, low snap. Going to hand off to Williams. He is going to run for 6 or 7 on the play before the stop is made by the true freshman Caleb Downs, who actually leads Alabama in tackles coming into this game. They're going to give Williams 5 on that play. No, now they changed that to 7-yard pickup. Both quarterbacks lead their team in rushing yards. And prior to the 2nd and 3, we got some early movement by LSU up front. Second snap infraction of the day against LSU. It's going to back them up 5. So here is a 2nd and 9. They don't need to snap the ball before the end of the quarter. Let's see if they do. They've got 5 seconds. Daniels in shotgun. They will not snap the ball before the end of the quarter. So LSU, Alabama, 35-28 Alabama. Headed to the 4th quarter. Been a great game so far. And I would expect that to definitely continue in the second half. Or, sorry, in the 4th quarter. Iowa State kicked a field goal. It's now 28-21 in that game. Kansas, Iowa State with 4:53 to go in the 4th. Both games are at commercial once again. So still waiting for LSU, Alabama to come back from commercial, but Washington, USC is back from commercial. Washington leads 42-35 with 4:09 to go in the 3rd quarter there. And here, Williams going to check this down underneath. There's a flag that comes in. This may be some kind of offensive penalty, but this guy, 19, whoever this guy is off to the races. He is down to the 15-yard line. But I have a feeling that may come back because I saw Washington defensive back on the ground right at the point of the catch. Flag way back at the 20-yard line. And I think this is going to be on USC. Let's see what this penalty is in Washington, USC. There is no foul. Oh, there's 2 flags in the play. But there was holding on USC, and there is no foul for pass interference because the ball is apparently caught behind the line of scrimmage. So the line of scrimmage is the 17. Yeah, it was caught beyond the line of scrimmage. Alright, LSU Alabama is back. Here is a deflection and intercepted. Arnold with the interception. Picked off. And that could be a big turnover. That's also going to set Alabama up in excellent field position. Daniels has it deflected at the line. And it pops right up into the hands of Arnold. Dallas Turner deflects it. Arnold picks it off. And Alabama defense comes up with a huge turnover. That's now back-to-back points for LSU, which result in no points after punting last drive. First turnover by either team tonight. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 25 for Alabama. The LSU 25. So excellent starting field position. And now we got some early movement by Alabama. We've seen quite a few pre-snap penalties. A fair amount by both sides. So 1st and 15, backed him up to the 30. Milroe in shotgun. Going to hand off to Jace McClellan, who's taken down after only a gain of a yard. Nice stop there, and that's going to bring up a 2nd and 14. If this LSU defense can keep this to a 3rd and long, I like being able to hold him to a field goal right here. So here is a 2nd and 14. Second and 14 for Alabama on the 29. Here's a little touch pass forward to 19. I actually don't know who that is. And he's taken down at the 20. So that's going to bring up a 3rd and 5. Who is 19? I don't know if I've ever seen him on the field for Alabama this season. 19, that is Kendrick Wall. Okay, I actually may have said him before. So 3rd and 5. Alabama 9 of 11 on 3rd down. Here's a 3rd and 5. Ball on the 20. Milroe on a design roll right. Milroe's going to tuck it and run, but Harold Perkins is too fast, and he's going to take him down. That's going to be a horse collar tackle. Milroe slow to get up. Harold Perkins going to get called for a horse collar tackle, but I think the ref is talking the other guy out of it, saying no, he didn't. Actually, yeah, that is a horse collar tackle. But that is a huge penalty on Harold Perkins, who made a huge play to get Jalen Milroe and take him down for a loss of 4. But if he takes him down any other way, that's great, as long as it's not by his face mask. But a horse collar tackle gives Alabama a fresh set of downs and a costly LSU penalty on their star linebacker, Harold Perkins. So first and goal, ball on the 10-yard line. Milroe hands off to McClellan up the middle, and McClellan is going to walk in for an Alabama touchdown. Back-to-back touchdown drives for Alabama, and they now take a 2-score lead with the combination of 2 stops and 2 touchdowns. Alabama is up by 13. Jason McClellan, 10-yard touchdown run. And they capitalize off the LSU interception and run it in for a touchdown. Four plays, 25 yards, a minute 53 off the clock. And Reichard's extra point is good. 42-28. Alabama leads LSU, who is scoreless in their last 2 drives and needs to get their offense clicking again. So Alabama up by 14 with 13:01 to go in the 4th quarter. The game now tied at 42 after USC has scored a game-tying touchdown. They've got a minute 33 to go in the 3rd. So Alabama LSU, despite starting like 15 minutes later, is at a faster pace. I mean, not surprising when you consider the amount of points we've had scored in Washington, USC. We got a false start by Washington here. But waiting for Alabama LSU to come back from commercial break. Alabama up by 14 here after the touchdown off the interception. That's the 6th Washington penalty. They're one of the most penalized teams in the FBS. Washington runs for a gain of 10. And I'm going to go back to Alabama LSU right now. Alabama scored a touchdown in 6 of their last 7 drives. The one drive that was not a touchdown was a missed field goal. So Alabama leads LSU 42-28 with about 14 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. So LSU needs to get their offense back on track. They haven't scored on their last 2 drives after a punt and a interception. And here is the kick from Will Reichard. It is going to be a touchback as a fair catch is called for at the goal line. Jaden Daniels and the LSU offense will take over at their own 25-yard line. Our trivia question: who are the last 2 college starting quarterbacks with back-to-back wins over Nick Saban? I have no idea. They now put up a graphic on the screen of teams to beat Michigan, or teams to beat Nick Saban back-to-back times, but I don't know quarterback for any of those teams. Daniels pressured, going to heave one deep down the field, incomplete. Neighbors tried to jump into the defender to draw a flag, but there is no flag. Although now there is a flag down on the field back by Jaden Daniels, who's very slow to get up. He's still on the ground. And that is going to be roughing the passer. Dallas Turner, that might be targeting. Joe Burrow didn't beat Saban back-to-back times, though. Joe Burrow had that one insane year, which is one of the best years in college football history, in 2019. He only had 1 year. and then it was not before or after Burrow. But Daniel's still on the ground. Hopefully he's okay. That is a huge blow to LSU. I wonder if they may take a look at that for targeting for Dallas Turner. They called roughing the passer, but that looked like it might be targeting. Here's another look. And that is his helmet right to the chin, which is the head or neck area. I think that's targeting, but we're not going to review it. And now they're saying, I don't have captions on this, so I don't know what they're saying. Daniels is now sitting up. Hopefully he's okay. I mean, that would be a huge blow to LSU. So, the new LSU quarterback will be... I'm probably going to say this guy's name wrong. Garrett Nussmeier. Nussmeier. Alright, they're not reviewing that for targeting, even though I think that is targeting. Daniels is probably going to be evaluated for a concussion. So, Nussmeier, if I'm saying that wrong, very sorry. In at quarterback at zone 40. Replacing the injured Jaden Daniels. Looks to throw. He's got plenty of time. Throws to the outside, caught by Brian Thomas for a gain of 5. Garrett. Oh, Jaden Daniels comes back into the game. So he was out for one play. Jaden Daniels is fine, just a little shaken up from the hit. And he's back in there. That is huge for LSU. So here is a 2nd and 5. Play blown dead, false start on the right tackle for LSU. Gonna back him up 5. Hold on 1 second. Auburn Tigers might be a what? I don't think you finished your comment. But here is a 2nd and 10. For LSU, and prior to this 2nd and 10, we got a timeout called for it by LSU's play clock. Was winding down. Auburn might be in back-to-back. So, Auburn, the last team to beat Alabama back-to-back, you're saying? If I'm understanding you correctly? I don't know who their quarterback was. I don't know. Is that Cam Newton? Back at like 2010, 2011? I don't know. Yeah, so... So Cam Newton might be the last player to beat Nick Saban back-to-back times. That might be right. So Cam Newton, okay. Thanks for that. It's the answer to the trivia question. By the way, Washington USC still tied at 42. But Washington inside the red zone. But they've got an upcoming 3rd and 9 before that play. Timeout called for by USC. Alright, here's the answer. So I guess it's... No, the last two college starting quarterbacks with back-to-back wins over Nick Saban are Rex Grossman of Florida and Drew Brees of Purdue. So maybe that was... I'm not sure. Now, Daniel's out of the game. I'm not sure if they saw injury potential with him or what the deal is. Here is a little swing pass out to Diggs, who drops the ball. Can't handle that, even though that's just a very simple throw and catch. Why would Daniels come back into the game for one play and then leave? Not really sure. Maybe it's like a injury thing. He's got to be evaluated for something. He's in the medical tent at the moment. But Nussmeier, I'm probably saying his name wrong, just to warn you, is in at quarterback for LSU. Here's a timeout called defensively by Alabama before this 3rd and 10. So they hit the commercial break after the timeout. LSU with a 3rd and 10 upcoming. This is going to be a big 3rd down because if LSU has to punt this ball away and then can't get a stop, that might do it. I mean, I don't know if they're going to be able to come back down 3 scores potentially without Jaden Daniels as well. I just don't think they're going to be able to do that. You know, Alabama won this game already for the last touchdown. I mean, I think that could be possible with how the LSU defense is playing. But, I mean, I still think it's possible for LSU to come back. There's still plenty of time. I mean, 11:54 is still a lot of time to come back. But I think you could be right on that. Because the LSU defense has gotten 1 stop. I don't count a missed field goal as really a stop unless it's like late in the game. The defense has truly gotten a stop 1 time, which was when they forced a punt in the game's first possession. But they've also forced a missed field goal, but I think you could very well be right on that. While waiting for them to come back from commercial, on LSU Alabama, here's Washington with the 3rd and 9. Penix plenty of time to throw, like all day we're talking. Now Penix is going to make a guy miss and go taken down for a sack back at the 26. He spun around, ended up losing his balance. And that's a big sack for the USC defense, going to force a field goal. Penix just has like nowhere to go with the football. So Washington's going to attempt a field goal. First field goal either team will attempt, first field goal either team attempts today, even though I haven't really been watching this game that close with is a 43-yard field goal for Washington right down the middle. It's not an easy one, though. And the kick is drifting, but it is going to get in there. So Washington retakes the lead. And I just missed this third down play, but it was an incompletion. Alabama, tough team. Everyone chat, no. Yeah, I would agree. They're a tough team to play. I think they're beatable. And I had them losing coming into this game because I didn't think their offense would look this good. But they're definitely a tough team, especially to play on the road. So here is a 4th and 10 for LSU. I agree with the decision to go for it because of how bad the LSU defense is. So here is a 4th and 10. Play clock winding down. Now we got flags that come in. Looks like this is going to be a false start. There was confusion offensively for LSU. They didn't want to call another timeout. It is a false start, so that's going to back them up to a 4th and 15. It's an illegal snap, and now LSU is going to send in the punt team. So yeah, that was... The LSU defenders were watching the play clock behind him. And then they were going to come once the play clock is 0. It definitely does not look good for LSU. That is their 3rd straight possession without any points as they send on the punt unit on 4th and 15. They had scored a touchdown at 4 of their previous 6 possessions. Fair catch called for at the 25 by Kool-Aid McKinstry. And that is where Alabama will take over after the punt. Defense playing well has not allowed a touchdown or any points for LSU in 3 straight drives. I believe Alabama will beat Georgia this year. Okay, that is... I could definitely see that. I mean, both those teams, I think they're both very good, but I think they're both slightly overrated. I think we've got an idea of how good Alabama is. I don't think Alabama's a playoff team. Like, when they were ranked at number 4 at the start of the year, I thought they were overrated. I think a little bit inside the top 10 is more appropriate for Alabama. And then Georgia, I think they're a very good team, but I think they're slightly overrated. Because we've seen them play a lot of close games against some bad teams. I think they're probably going to lose one time this season, but I could definitely see Alabama beating Georgia. And I mean, that would just be chaos for the college football playoff, because if Georgia is 12-0, it's going to depend on where they're ranked. For where they're... Because if Georgia's probably not ranked in the top 2, and they lose to Alabama, depending on who else there is and how the rankings look, Georgia could go 12-0 in the regular season, lose to Alabama in the SEC title game, and knock it into the playoff. Have Alabama be the team that gets in for the SEC. So, I mean, it's going to be a wild playoff race this year. So, I'm really excited for that. Hold on, there's a cricket right here. Alright, I got it away. Kind of. But Alabama with the football, 42-28. We're getting an injury update on Jaden Daniels, but I don't know what they're saying because I don't put... Oh, here are captions. English. Jaden Daniels has been inside the medical tent for over 6 minutes. He's in concussion protocol, and he has been ruled out for the rest of the game. That is not good news for LSU. This is probably game now, because I don't think they can come back without Jaden Daniels. So Milroe hands off to Williams up the middle for a gain of about 4 on the play. But without Jaden Daniels, I mean, he's done so much for the offense. for LSU. He has been practically their entire offense between him on the ground and his arm, between his arm and his legs. He has been their offense. Milroe not expecting the snap. He is just going to tuck this and run. Milroe is going to gain 2 or 3. Milroe was not ready for the snap. But he would make the most of it and get a few yards. But speaking of quarterbacks who have really been everything for their offense tonight, how about Jalen Milroe? 4 rushing touchdowns, an Alabama record. A pretty good game passing as well. I mean, he's been really, really good. Alabama 9 of 11 on third down. Here's a 3rd and 3. Milroe, empty backfield. He looks to throw. Quick throw. Caught by Burton for a first down. He swung down at the 42 and a first down for Alabama. They have been insane on third down, which is another reason why they're winning this game by 14. And they're likely going to win. You agree, okay. So here is a 1st and 10 at the 42. Milroe off the option. He is going to gain 2 on the play. Takes a big hit from Major Burns. And that's going to bring up a 2nd and 8 or 9. So 2nd and 8 here for Alabama. Their second half possessions have been 3 possessions, 3 touchdowns in the second half for Alabama. Here is a 2nd and 8 from their own 44. Bond in motion. Milroe hands off to Jace McClellan, who's going to bounce to the outside. McClellan makes a cut and gains 3 on the play. It's going to bring up a 3rd and about 5. And Major Burns injured on the play. Second time he's been down after a play today. Hopefully he's okay. Burns in on the tackle there. Doesn't seem to be anything unusual, but hopefully he's okay. So they go to commercial for the injured player. Obviously, hopefully he's okay. That's the second time we've seen him go down. Switching over to Washington, USC for the moment. 3rd and 7 for USC at the Washington 24. They trail by 3. Here they throw a screen to Taj Washington. Washington picks up 7. Actually, he's still in bounds. And Washington in for a touchdown. There's a flag that comes in. It looks like this is going to be a hold on a receiver who's blocking out in the screen. And we've also got an injured Washington player on the field. But this is a hold and will come back for Washington. Jumping back over to Alabama LSU, Major Burns over on the sideline. Hopefully he is okay. He made the stop there on Jalen Milroe. Or sorry, they showed the replay of the stop he made on Milroe 2 plays ago, and he stopped McClellan that time as well. So here's a 3rd and 5 for Alabama at their own 47-yard line. 8.5 minutes to go in the game. A little over 8.5 minutes. But roughly. Milroe in shotgun. McClellan in the back line to his right. Milroe looks to throw. LSU rushes 5. Milroe steps up in the pocket, and he picks up a first down as well, getting it to the 45-yard line inside LSU territory. So here is a 1st and 10. Jalen Milroe has carried the ball 20 times for 155 yards and 4 touchdowns. That is insane for a quarterback to do. Here he hands off to McClellan running left. Jason McClellan looks for a cutback lane, and he's going to go out of bounds after a gain of 4. So here is a 2nd and 6. So ball on the 41-yard line, 2nd and 6 after a 4-yard run by McClellan. Jermaine Burton in motion here. Milroe hands off to McClellan up the middle, who's going to gain 7, maybe 8 yards there, and another Alabama 1st down. LSU just can't stop anyone. If LSU and USC played, 2 teams with absolutely 0 defense, I think that game would end up like 73-72. Maybe even higher. So here is a 1st and 10 for Alabama. Milroe hands off to McClellan, who's going to bounce this to the outside. McClellan taken down after a gain of about 3 on the play. So 2nd and 7. Milroe hands off to Roydell Williams, who looks for a lane, and he is going to eventually just go forward for a gain of 3, although not much running room. And that's going to bring up a 3rd down for Alabama. It's going to be about a 3rd and 3. The SEC West standings, Alabama will move to 6-0. LSU will fall to 4-2 after this one is official. So I really don't think LSU is coming back. And I believe this may win. No, I don't think so. Alabama could definitely lose a couple more games. But it puts Alabama in the driver's seat for a spot in the SEC championship game against what is likely going to be Georgia as they beat their biggest potential threat in Missouri today. Here they hand off to Williams. He's going to gain 3 running left. And that is going to bring up a 4th and 1. Let's see what Alabama decides to do right here. I'm thinking go for this. Looks like Nick Saban's going to keep the offense out there to go for it. 4th and 1 with about a little under 5 minutes to go. 4:47. They will keep the offense out there. And prior to this 4th and 1, we have a timeout called by LSU. Looks like they were not lined up correctly. Brian Kelly's upset on the sideline, apparently telling somebody he's got to get in the field. A successful 4th down here would just about put this away, especially a touchdown. Not necessarily on this, but if they can get if they can convert here and then score a touchdown later, then that is a just about putting the game away. By the way, Washington USC, somehow USC came away without any points on that drive. Looks like maybe a turnover as Washington takes over at their own 9-yard line. Still up 45-42, each team with 484 yards of total offense. Let's see how that happened while we wait for them to come back from commercial here on Alabama LSU. They punted? Hold up, how did they punt? They punted from the Washington 42 after Caleb Williams was sacked. Okay. They're back from commercial break after the Dylan Johnson may run for a 91-yard touchdown. Johnson looks like he's not going to quite have the speed, but Dylan Johnson's been insane for Washington so far today. But back at Alabama, LSU. 70 combined points, that is fourth most in the series. Milroe under center. Here is a 4th and 1. Looks like they may go tush push. Are they actually going to snap this? They've lined up like this quite a bit. No, they're not going to snap this and call a timeout. Interesting. Alabama about to run the table on LSU. I mean, it is doable. I mean, they can go 11 and 1. Who else do they have left? I know they've got Auburn. Who else does Alabama have left? Let me check. Are you an Alabama fan, by the way? Just curious. They have Kentucky, Chattanooga, and Auburn. So yeah, they'll probably run the table after that. And go 11 and 1. So here is a 4th and 1. Jaden Daniels has 163 rushing yards tonight, are the most rushing yards by an LSU quarterback in school history. Alabama sends on Will Reichard for the field goal. Reichard's field goal is right, and it is going to stay right. He's missed twice tonight. 0 for 2 on field goals. And Will Reichard, who had not missed since the Tennessee game last year, he has now missed twice tonight. Alright, being online used to being against Alabama. You're a slap Alabama fan, realizing you're a good team. Okay. I'm a Notre Dame fan. Well, if you're not like an Alabama fan, like, I don't know how to word that, but hold on, I'll get back to that in a second. Here, throw down the field, that is caught by Neighbors, and he's out of bounds at about midfield. I mean, this is highly unlikely, but it is somewhat doable for LSU. 2 touchdowns in 4 minutes. That's probably going to stop in there as well. But what I'm saying is, if you're not an Alabama fan, like, and you've kind of just come to like them, what team are you, like, a true fan of? Unless Alabama is your team. I'm just curious. I'm a fan of Notre Dame. Here is a quick throw caught by Neighbors. He's going to gain 5. So here is a 2nd and 5. Quick throw to the outside, caught by Lacey. He is still on his feet, he's out of bounds at the 29-yard line. Temporarily stopping the clock with 3:37 to go. Now the clock continues to run. So 3:25 to go in the quarter, or really in the game. LSU trails by 14. Nussmeier looks to throw, probably said his name wrong. High throw that is bobbled and incomplete. Neighbor is the intended target, who is covered fairly well by Arnold. Oh, you're a Notre Dame fan too. Cool. Very cool. Unfortunately, we lost today. But here is a 2nd and 10. Ball on the 30-yard line. Nussmeier looks to throw. Underneath, that is caught by Lacey, although he's going to only gain 2 or 3. That's right, that's Neighbors. I thought I saw number 2. Malik Neighbors makes the catch, though he's only able to gain about 2 or 3. So ball on the 28. Here's a 3rd and 8. LSU 4 of 8 on 3rd down. A lot of 8s there. Low snap. He looks to throw. Going to let one go deep down the field. That is incomplete. Looking for the tight end, Taylor. Although he ended up stopping. Nussmeier thought he was going to keep going. Again, I'm probably saying this guy's name wrong, so if I am, I'm very sorry about that. Here's a 4th and 8. You've got to go for this. A field goal does you no good. So 4th and 8, they will go for it. 2:33 to go. Nussmeier looks to throw. He's pressured instantly. Throws to the outside. That is knocked away and incomplete. Neighbors the intended target. And Alabama is almost certainly going to win this game. I mean, there's like... If they blow this, this will be one of the worst blown leads in like the history of football. I mean, there's like no way Alabama blows this. Oh, I just realized I never changed this ball marker from Alabama to LSU. But back to Alabama. Neighbors extremely upset with himself. He didn't catch that. That's a very catchable pass. So here is a 1st and 10. 2:28 to go in the game. Alabama up 42-28. Ball on the 28. Milroe hands off to McClellan up the middle. McClellan runs somebody over and gains 7. That was Major Burns he ran over, who's back on the field after his injury before. Luckily, he's okay. I already know Alabama's going to win this game. Yeah, I mean, there's like no way they blow this. So 2 minutes to go. Here is a 2nd and 3 for Alabama. Milroe in shotgun. He's going to hand off to McClellan up the middle. And McClellan is going to pick up the 1st down. Gaining 4. The clock will temporarily stop with 1:36 to go. And now the clock is running again. And they're going to wind this down to probably another 20 seconds. So, going to check on Washington USC, which is a 3-point game. Washington up 45-42 with the ball. And ball on the 1-yard line of the USC 1 as well. Oh, now Dylan Johnson just scored a touchdown. His 4th rushing touchdown of the day. Oh, Alabama just took a knee there. So 2nd and 11, one more knee will make it official. And Alabama going to win this game. And just so you guys know, I am going to stay on and watch the end of Washington USC. Because that game is just insane. But one more knee here for Alabama to make it official. Final score 42-28. And Alabama has officially beaten LSU. They avenged their loss from LSU last week. I believe Washington's going to win that game too. Yeah, they're up... What's it going to be now? 56-42? They just had a 9-play, 91-yard drive. They're going to be up 52-42 with 2:20 to go. So I will switch to that game in 1 second. They're at commercial at the moment. So I'm going to stay on and watch the end of this game. Washington, USC. USC and Washington currently leads 52-42. With 2:20 to go in the game. Dylan Johnson, wow. 26 carries, 256 yards, and 4 touchdowns. He has more yards rushing than Michael Penix Jr. has passing. Not every day you say that. Washington has also ran for 320 yards. That is insane. And any other updated scores from around the country, let's check. Oregon State is leading Colorado 7-0. And UCLA, Arizona is scoreless halfway through the first quarter. And I feel like there was another game going on that I forgot to say ended. Oh, Kansas, Iowa State. Kansas won that one 28-21. Michigan also beat Purdue 41-13. So USC going to get the football back down by 10. I'm not going to change the scoreboard up top just because it's only going to be for a couple minutes. But just so you guys know, I am talking about Washington USC now. But I mean, overall, I'd say Washington USC is exactly what you expect. An insanely high-scoring game. I mean, 52-42, I think classifies as high-scoring. Washington has well over 500 yards of offense. And here they show some replays of Dylan Johnson. He has been insane. He has a 51-yard touchdown. He has 4 touchdowns, 255 rushing yards. He has 117 yards in the first half and 139 in the second. So here, USC going to get the football back. Zachariah Branch, the dangerous returner, on the return, and Branch spun around but not taken down. Branch still on his feet, and he's eventually taken down at the 21. So here is a 1st and 10 for USC, down by 10 with 2:13 to go. So empty backfield for Caleb Williams. Ball on his own 22-yard line. Williams throws quickly. That is caught by Taj Washington. Washington is going to pick up 8, getting up to the 30. Unlikely here for USC, down by 10. Needing a touchdown and an onside kick and then a field goal, or a field goal, onside kick, touchdown. Williams sidearms one to Washington, who picks up a first down. That's confusing when you say, when he's playing against Washington and he throws it to Washington, it sounds like he's throwing a pick. But he's throwing it to Taj Washington, number 16, the USC receiver. Here they run the football up the middle with Austin Jones, who runs for a gain of 10. And that is going to stop the clock temporarily with 1:36 to go. Clock now back on the move. Washington with 575 yards of offense. Williams has plenty of time. Now he's going to roll out to his left. Williams on the run. Still running. Now he's going to take off and run out of bounds for a gain of 5. Stopping the clock with 1:20 to go. So here is a 2nd and 5 for USC. Inside Washington territory at the 48. Williams looks to throw. He's pressured, going to roll out to his right. Williams on the run, throws downfield. That is incomplete. Short of Zachariah Branch. But Washington is most likely going to win this game. They're up by 10 with 1:13 to go. They will most likely improve to 9-0, but they still have a really tough sketch ahead of them. A tough stretch ahead of them. As they have at Oregon State next week. Will not be easy. No, sorry, home against Utah next week is not going to be easy. Then they're at Oregon State, and then they close the season home against Washington State. So it's going to be tricky for Washington, but I think they can get out of the regular season undefeated. Here's a screen that's going nowhere. Washington edge USC out for the win. Yeah, I mean, there's only a minute to go, and it's 4th down here for USC. So most likely, USC does call a timeout right here. But now, the thing with Washington that could be really, really tricky is they're going to most likely have to play Oregon again. And Oregon might have, or probably would have won that game had Dan Lanning not gone for it like 8,000 times on 4th down and had their kicker not missed a field goal at the very end of the game, which would force overtime. So that could be really tough for Washington, having to beat what I think may be the most complete team in the country again. That is the only. I think these next 4 for Washington. I mean, they're almost certainly in the Pac-12 title game. It's not official yet, but I mean, it's extremely likely. As they're going to be 9-0, undefeated in conference play. They still have 3 tough conference games ahead of them, but I think they should be able to win those. And then also, I think Oregon's going to end up there as well. I think they'll finish the season 11-1. So you have Washington against Oregon again. That is going to be such a good game again. So that's just going to be such a good game. And that, honestly, that might be a playoff game. The winner of that game probably goes to the playoff. So 4th and 4 here for USC. Need this to keep the game alive. Williams throws incomplete. Washington the intended target. And USC is going to win. There's going to be one good game. Washington, Oregon in the championship game. Yeah, that is going to be insane. I mean, these two, they already played what might have been the game of the year. So I mean, it's most likely going to be Washington, Oregon. I really don't see any other teams out of the Pac-12 making that. Making the Pac-12 championship, because I'm going to pull up the standings right now. I don't think. Let's see. You got yeah, that's going to be a much-watched game. All right, here's the Pac-12. So you've got Washington. They're going to be 6-1. 6-0 in conference play after today. Oregon's going to be 6-1. USC is going to fall to 5-2. So every other team will have 2 conference losses at least. Oregon will have 1 conference loss. Washington will be undefeated in the conference. So, I mean, they're almost certainly going to play again in the Pac-12 championship, and that's probably going to be a playoff game. So, where the winner goes to the playoff, and the loser gets left out. So, I mean, that's going to be really fun. But Washington is elite. I mean, they are one of the best teams in the country. I honestly could argue that there's a lot of teams that are the best team in the country. Is it one more game you gotta? Is it one more game you gotta watch this year? Michigan, Ohio State. It's gonna be a good one. Yeah, that's gonna be insane. That's in a couple weeks. So there's gonna be some really good games on as we get to the end of the year. But final score, Washington 52, USC 42. That is the final score. But there is going to be some must-watch games. Not only just insane games, but with playoff implications as well. I mean, Ole Miss, Georgia is going to be a fun one next week. Utah, Washington. USC, Oregon. That's all next week. Tennessee, Missouri is going to be good next week. Michigan, Penn State's next week. That's all just next week. Then you got the week after. Week 12. You have Tennessee, Georgia. Washington, Oregon State. USC, UCLA, Kansas, Kansas State. And that's it then. And then you got rivalry week, which, I mean, it is going to be wild. You got the Egg Bowl. You got other good games that are going to be insane. You got Oregon, Oregon State. You have the Apple Cup, the Iron Bowl. I don't know. Some of those games I just mentioned are going to be, like, insane. And then, obviously, Ohio State, Michigan. But we're headed for a wild stretch, a wild last few weeks. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of good games next week. But thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like the stream, subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss any of the upcoming streams or videos. I'll be live tomorrow for Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, and I will also do a college football rankings video tomorrow. So thank you guys for joining me. Make sure to like the stream, subscribe, turn on notifications. I do my best to post as often as possible. I hope you have a great rest of your day or night, and I will see you in the next video.